One of the things that I have always found important for me is financial security. And I'll tell you a little story. So when I was 18, my father passed away in a car accident, and everything in my life changed. For me, I realized that my security blanket was literally ripped out from underneath me. And a lot of people may find me weird, but it actually completely relates to how I deal with my finances and why I had so much fear when I first started my company. Now, I was working a full-time job and I wasn't happy. And then I ended up working nights and weekends. And until I was making enough, I was not ready to switch over. And I needed to know that I had the financial stability in order to make the move. But at the same time, when I was working full-time, I was very, very careful about my money. And one of the things I always did was I had we're so lucky we're growing up in an age of the technology that you can actually have your checking account automatically transfer to your savings account a certain amount. And it's been doing that, I don't know for how long. It's been kind of insane to see it. Another thing I do, just knowing my personality, I actually took a large chunk and put it into another account so that I can never see it or touch it. And that was really helpful for me too. So one of the things that I would say is financial stability and security brings a certain amount of energy and calmness to your aura as a woman. And I think in general, people really feel that. And budgeting is one of the most crucial skills you can learn. My mom actually yesterday had said to me, well, you're an independent woman at this point, and you just need to be with a partner who really loves you the way you want to be loved. And it was beautiful because, I come from a culture, and I'm Indian, I come from a culture where there are a lot of rules around marriage and a lot of rules about how you look at a potential male mate in your life. And unfortunately, the past way of looking at a partner is a bank account. And that's not an effective relationship. I did a lot of reading on Alison Armstrong. Alison Armstrong provides incredible understanding about women and how we work from an instinctual and biological level, and then also from a cultural level. And one of the things she talks about, and I was listening to it last night, is all about choosing partnership. And choosing partnership means that you are choosing to do that with somebody else, where you're not needing them in general. And I will say that personal finance for me has really opened doors. I feel I still, even with more in the bank than I've ever had before, I still have fears that it'll all go away. I mean, everyone, I think, has that fear somewhere. But what I've realized is I have so much of a cushion that it doesn't create this burnout, stressed version of me where I'm just head to the ground, attempting to get my business off the ground, working my butt off nonstop, just to get my finances in order. I don't like to work that way. It's just not how I operate. And for me, it's really important to have enough liquidity to make sure that I'm comfortable. And that number is different for everybody. And for some people that have had their security blanket taken out, that number can be very high because they know that there's a lot of risk involved with being an entrepreneur. So I always make sure I have at least 2.5 years of savings in case anything happens, whether my mom gets hurt, whether anything happens and anyone in my family needs me for something, or if something happens and I have to turn off my business for 2 years to figure out what I'm doing next. And that's an incredible experience to know that your personal finances are at a place. I can tell you that, when I was working full time, it wasn't like that for me at first. And I was living paycheck to paycheck, and I was eating sushi and boiled eggs in New York, and I was buying handbags all the time because I worked at Coach Handbags. And my whole life was all about fashion and materialism. So it took me a long time for me to understand how money works and how it can completely change how you look at life.